less than 18% of their habitat is protected. And you don't need to be a marine biologist to figure out where that will go. So basically there are two fishing methods that are the main threats to them. Scientists agree that 95.5% of mortality that humans cause to Maui's dolphins is due to gill netting and trawling. Now, gill netting is a fishing method where fishermen suspend like a curtain of nylon nets, like if you fishing line, thick fishing line, a net out of that, and it's suspended in the water. The top has floaters on it, and the bottom is weighted, so it hangs like a curtain of death in the water, and it's designed to catch anything that swims into it, fish, but of course other things like swim into it, dolphins, and amongst them Maui's and Hector's dolphins. Trawl nets is like you have an enormous net bag that is dragged through the water, and you have then an aggregation of fish in there. So not only is there random catches of dolphins in these nets, but the dolphins get attracted because it's like a food glut. They learn that there's food there, and we've just heard from an Australian scientist who put cameras inside a trawl net, who found that dolphins over there deliberately go into the net, like we're going out for dinner, and they spend time in the net. But then, of course, a great number get caught, and it's the same for Maui's dolphins and Hector's dolphins. They get caught. They are mammals like us. They need to breathe air. People sometimes forget, but they need to come to the surface. They can hold their breath for about 2 minutes, and after that, if they can't get to the surface, they will drown. The overwhelming majority of Maui's dolphin habitat still unprotected against both these harmful fishing methods. Clearly this is not enough, and that's not just us saying it. I've been saying it for over 10 years, but the fishing industry has always accused us, and the government had accused us, that there was no scientific evidence to back this stance up, that the Maui's full habitat needed to be protected. That means they are coastal species, they live in shallow waters up to about 100 meters. So if we want to protect them, we need to protect their habitat. Because scientists have also calculated that only one animal that dies due to human causes every 10 to 23 years is sustainable. And we have about 5 Maui's deaths due to fishing alone every year. Yeah. So you can see that this is clearly not enough. The government has gone through 3 public consultations. The overwhelming majority, over 99% of them, and this is over 100,000 people that have sent in submissions, said we agree with this stance. They need to be fully protected, and the government has ignored that. And what's more serious, even perhaps, is that the government has also, in making this decision, ignored the view of the scientific community, because the IUCN, which is the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, which is the largest association of conservation NGOs and governments, the International Whaling Commission, and the Society for Marine Mammalogy, have all confirmed and made strong recommendations that the Maui's dolphins need to be protected by removing gill nets and trawl nets from the 100-meter depth contour, that's from their entire habitat, to avoid their extinction. And that has not happened as far as the New Zealand government is concerned. That book is now closed. There will be no review of this decision, and it's up to us and everybody, in New Zealand and in the world, to convince them that the world community will not accept this kind of negligence, and that will lead to extinction of a unique and charismatic apex predator in the marine ecosystem. We are down to less than 15 breeding Maui's dolphins, dolphin females. Every day we delay, they are at risk. So there's a real degree of urgency. This extinction can be prevented and should be prevented. And from what I have learned about what New Zealanders want and what the world community wants, the New Zealand government and the fishing industry are alone and isolated in their position that nothing else needs to happen. So let's go and do this.
I wanna be a wonder child. Would you try me for a while? Twist the priestess from the Nile. Mute your wish a darker vial. There's a place I'd like to stay. Under your skin that I lay.